I never know when we're going live because of this little circle right here.
Right?
Because it says it's still thinking, and then all of a sudden, now we're live.
Ta-da.
Hi, One Stars and fellow YouTubians. Thank you for joining me on Tea with the Universe. Today I have the wonderful Lori with me,
Hello there.
whom I met. Well, I guess we were discussing this beforehand a little bit. I've actually crossed her path before I actually physically met you,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
So we met, was it 2 years ago? Or was it last year or 2 years ago?
No, it was probably pushing 3 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah,
So almost
time goes by.
3 years ago, or in that area, I took over for Jerry Tourond one night at one of her Monday night
Heart to
hearts.
meditations. Yeah.
Yeah, and Lori was one of my guests that arrived that night, and that was how we met. And there was definitely an attachment there then. I felt a bond for sure.
Immediately. Yes.
Yes. So, on that note, Lori, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, let's see. I found it really interesting and exciting to receive an invite to come and talk tonight and come and have some wonderful tea, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And a lot of the people that have come and sat at this chair and chatted with the universe have been so diverse. And it's like, oh, to talk about me? That was going to be tough. But I guess a wanderer, for sure. I have a rock, that not all who wander are lost. So I'm glad we crossed paths on our wanderings, for sure.
Am I, yeah.
I dabble in a little bit of everything and definitely enjoy walking barefoot on the earth, doing a little bit of gardening. I've done my level 1 Reiki 3 different times with 3 different teachers in 3 different styles and modalities. So it's been really interesting to dabble a little bit in the Reikis.
I bet.
And yeah. I've done some quantum touch, play with my cards. And I'm really interested to hear a little bit more about your teacups coming up very close to my birthday, I hope.
Oh.
This fall. So.
Well, I haven't really shared that with the public yet, but I can.
There's your segue.
Yeah. Well, first you mentioned your tea that you were drinking. I want to thank you, Melissa from Hayward Eclectic, for all the teas that you supply for us. I am drinking just a reishi, I'm not sure, reishi mushrooms in hot water. So a tea because I am actually doing a cleanse right now and a detox. However, Melissa and I have been kind of working together behind the scenes, creating 4 new teas right now for an upcoming project that I'm doing, and she's helping me with that. Hoping to release by the middle of October, but I'm looking at releasing a line of teacups through Tea with the Universe. So I'm really, really excited for that. And right now, Lori is drinking a fire element tea. So what do you think of that?
It is most excellent and very warming. Heartwarming. There was a good word.
That's a good word.
Very nice.
Yeah, I tasted it during the trialing and the sampling and really liked it. It's so warm and fuzzy, yet not Christmassy.
No, exactly.
There's no attachment to Christmas there, so I really, that's one of the qualities I really like about it.
That's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
To get back and chatter about our first meeting. Mentioned when we got here that it would be interesting to hear what your side of the story was on that meeting and the attachment. It's funny because I think it was sort of before you actually took full accountability for your gifts at that point in time too. You were just sort of working on a lot of that. Yeah. So
very nervous, very unsure of what to say and when.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I do recall that. I don't normally say anything to anybody,
But
but
right there behind your left shoulder.
yeah, yeah. And the gift that you gave me that day has stayed with me so much so. I
Oh.
cannot thank you enough for that.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to share that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's funny because I had been struggling with every time my teacher who had passed would come to me, I would be so overwhelmed with what I thought was grief. And I would cry, and the tears would just stream. And yeah, it was,
Joy.
as it turns out,
Yeah.
that yeah, it was you that clued me in, that overwhelming compassion that he came to me with, that's what that overwhelming feeling
Yeah.
was love and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, even after this 3 years, to recognize that feeling of compassion when it overwhelms me, I now have the ability to discern what that overwhelming is immediately, and able to say thank you for coming for the visit, be a little gentler, and I don't wind up being so overwhelmed.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm better able to discern any messages and connections, be in a far more grateful, grounded place when these visitations happen. So it's really, really a gift that I cannot repay you enough for.
Oh, well, allowing me to do it is repayment enough because it's the little things. And I'm not saying it's little, but it's those tiny steps for me that allow me to get closer to my authenticity and my real gifts. And I'm definitely still working on it. Definitely. Like I'm getting there, but there's still a lot that goes on behind closed doors that I just haven't released yet.
Yeah.
But I'm more confident and I'm getting there.
Well, and I think that's why they call it practice, right? Is we practice, practice,
Mm-hmm.
practice, and it is the journey, the practice in the journey, not the end destination that we need to revel in every moment.
Absolutely. And so many opportunities present themselves to share, and that was one of them, where the universe was saying, "You have to,
You have to
like,
say something.
you can't not. Even if you have to get up and walk out of here after you say it, it's something that needs to be said." And I find that happening more and more often now, where the universe is like, "Now you're doing it," and I'm like, and it just comes out, and then I'm like. But so far, so good. Everything has been welcomed with open arms, and I've hit the nail on the head. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. I don't even realize a lot of times when those moments of you have to say something. I'm finding more often now. My voice actually changes just a little bit into that teacher mode.
yes,
Yeah, it's almost like that teacher mode voice. And I am fortunate enough to live 2 doors down from my some of my grandkids.
that's lovely.
It really, really is. And the one in particular is extremely open and curious, um, and loves feeling the energy. And um, I found it really unique that a lot of times when kids play with their imaginary friends and they find, the energies and talk to spirits and corners and
Mm-hmm.
everything else, and they say that age about 6 or 7 or 8, they lose that.
Yeah.
Okay, she did not find hers until she was 8 years old.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I know, right? So all of a sudden, she'd been really quiet and really kind of off for a few weeks, and until we finally cornered her as to, what's going on, my girl.
Yeah.
And she says, somebody's been following me. friend or foe. Ask her, friend or foe.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was definitely a friend who has helped her out of some corners at school. And
Oh, perfect.
yeah, and has given her somebody to talk to during a very tumultuous last year. So that's been interesting.
That's perfect.
It really is.
And yeah, like it's unusual. Well, I guess not unusual, but not as common for people to have these experiences later in life. It usually starts as a young child and then they forget as they get older,
Right.
and then they remember again.
Yeah.
And with Callista as well, I think she was 17 when she had her first experience, and she was she was at the kitchen table and then went in the living room and sat down, and I got up and walked out to the kitchen, and she said, "Mom, come here," and tapped the couch beside her. She was like, "Sit down." So I went in, and exactly in that moment, I got excited because I felt the energy, and I was like, "Oh, whoa!" So I went and sat down, and I like leaned into her, and I'm like, "What? What do you want to tell me?" She's like, "Don't think I'm crazy. I have to tell you something, but I'm not crazy." And I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not. What do you want to tell me? Tell me, tell me, tell me." So she said, "I was sitting at the table, and this energetic blobby thing that looked like water floated towards me and put out like this tentacle kind of thing." And she said it invited me to reach my hand out. So she did. And she said it intertwined through her fingers and just like swarmed around her hand. "Hi, Robin." And she said, "We connected, Mom." And then it released itself and it just went up to the ceiling and then it just kind of disappeared. And I said, "That is amazing. You need to go online. You need to find people that this has happened to.
Yeah.
You need to share your story." And she was like, "You don't think I'm crazy?" And I was like, "You are absolutely not crazy. That is wonderful. Invite it, allow it." And then she started writing about it, and it would happen, frequently, and then it would stop, and then it would come back. But it's so wonderful. Even now, living in Nelson, if something happens where she is, when she was in Calgary, even with her car accident, she's had experiences, and she told me, she's like, "Mom, this is awesome. Like, it happens and then it doesn't." And so it's so awesome.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting when we're talking to our kids about that, because I distinctly remember being about 12 years old and going to ask my dad about something that had happened. It was quite, I don't remember exactly what it was, except it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And all he said was, "Be careful what you ask for, it might come true." And scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that stuff was blocked by fear.
Absolutely.
For years. Yeah.
Well,
and so, when we talk to our kids or talk to people, there is so much fear around that.
Well, even with my son, he had an imaginary friend. He had imaginary, not friends.
Okay.
Yeah, so there were some dark energies, and then there were friends, and my kids were always, there was always an open topic. If, I would say, "Deb, what are you doing?" And he'd be like, "Oh, playing with Swasway," which was his imaginary friend.
Right.
And I would say, "Oh, okay," and I would have to set him a dinner plate at the table. And
me too, when I was a kid, Mom had to set a plate.
Well, and at one point, Devin would have been, say, 3 years old, maybe 3.5. And the pages in his books were being ripped out and coloring on his walls. And I was like, "Deb, you have to stop." He's like, "It's not me, Mom, it's Swasway." So I was like, "Okay, well, tell him to stop."
Yeah.
So again, it happened. And I said, "Dev," and he's like, "It's Swasway." And I said, "If he does it again, you're going to have to ask him to leave. Like, he can't live here anymore."
Yeah.
He did it again. Dev asked him to leave. He had to have his last meal with us. Then he walked him to the door, gave him a hug, cried. Swasway left. Never again was there a book ripped, a toy broken, or writing on the wall. Wow. Never again. He was like, "See, Mom?" And to this day, he'll say, "It was Swasway." And he's 24 now.
Yep.
So, like, he remembers him. He's like, "It was not me. It was him." And I'm like, I believe you. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but how
yeah.
many parents or guardians or adults don't?
Yeah, parents,
So,
grandparents, aunts, uncles. Yeah, it just,
mhm.
yeah. So I find more and more now with the shifts that have been going on, and there's so much more awakening and opening
Yes.
that I find it really interesting to be able to talk to the kids about this opening and honestly about what's going
Or
on.
even
And,
like this now.
oh
There
yeah,
was a time when, well,
yeah,
there was a time when I wouldn't be doing this.
yeah.
So for me, this is a huge step.
Well, if my friends thought I was crazy before, they know it now.
But then are they really your
Yeah,
friends?
no,
Like,
I know.
and I've actually said that to a few people lately that have been afraid, and they're like, well, what if I'm judged? I've done a few readings for a few different people recently, and the outcome was the same. It was fear of showing their gifts
Right?
and living their authentic self because they were worried about who they were going to lose and who was going to judge them. And I said, like, honestly, the fear is the majority of the fear is in our own head because we sit here and we create this scenario and we think so and so is thinking about us, doesn't like us, thinks we're crazy.
Yeah.
So and so hasn't even thought about us.
Yeah.
We see so and then we're on guard thinking, we're already angry at them for thinking thoughts that they haven't even thought.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I was like, we are our own worst enemy. It's ego. It's that fear-based,
Yeah.
energy. Just tell yourself they're not even thinking about you and move forward doing what you want to do because at the end of the day, you're really the only one thinking about you and worried about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
what is best for you, and those that matter will be there by your side.
Yeah.
So I do have to practice what I preach often, but it's good advice.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. What was the meme we seen the other day? Was worrying is a waste of a wonderful imagination.
Absolutely. And so is stress. Like, this is one thing I've always, always, always told my kids. Well, not always, always, but always since I've started on this journey. So for the last 4 or 5 years, I've said stress, when you worry about something, you're just stealing this moment because if things turn out the way you think, there's nothing you can do anyway. So you may as well be happy and live in this present moment and deal with that when you get there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What if I fall? What if you fly?
well, yeah. And
Yeah.
what if you fall? What the ground is there to catch you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you're gonna get caught. The universe has your back. I learned that. I trust the universe so much now. It's how can I not?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting when we're asking the universe for things and trusting. Um, One of the things that I've learned along the way is not necessarily asking the universe for what you want, which is you can, but also asking the universe to give you the power to accept what has been given.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether it's the grace, the heart, the patience, whatever it is that you need to accept what is given.
And sometimes not getting what you ask for is a blessing in itself.
Yes,
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of gifts, I actually brought you something.
Oh.
This, and so I asked it to release me a feather specifically for you. So this one is specifically for you.
Oh.
Always to be kept the way that the bird flies, so that when you keep your feathers, you keep good side up the way that the bird would fly.
Okay.
This is the tail feather from a red-tailed hawk. They are akin to Mercury. They are messengers of the gods.
Oh, I have chills.
So this is part of your medicine wheel for bird medicine.
Thank you.
For being open to your messages. And yeah.
That's amazing because Brian and I were in Nelson just this past week visiting Callista, and he was searching for a hawk feather for me, and he had no luck finding one.
Ah, there you go.
So this is perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to leave it right here.
There you go. Yeah, I find the hawk medicine and a lot of the messages that come with that is quite interesting as I'm learning more and more about the animal totems and the energies with a lot of the totems. And my husband goes, "Oh, check this rock out, this stone or this gem, and feel the vibration, the messages." Yeah, no, I got nothing. It's a rock. He talks to rocks. I don't talk to rocks. But the constant surrounding of hawks and eagles and all that are constantly the birds, the hummingbirds that are always around me is an amazing gift and a reminder to see the bigger picture.
Yeah, I have a magpie that has been following me for a few years now. He brings me gifts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he brought me a carrot once. He must have stolen a carrot from someone's garden and brought it to me. But if I'm outside, he will fly around and he talks to me and he tries to get my attention and he'll hop around and we communicate on
That's all right.
on a level.
Have you ever heard one soft talk?
No.
Rather than squawk. They whisper.
No, I don't think so.
If you have an opportunity sometime to
I would
catch
pay
him,
attention to that.
Yeah, they actually do this very like whispering little soft talk.
He may have. We have a lot of birds around here, so
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about different bird species and stuff. So he may have, and I may have just thought it was another bird. But I will listen for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Good messages. And again, it brings us to a reminder to be present in the moment sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because too often we're not even conscious of the chattering and the beaking that's going on in our own minds and planning and scheming and conniving and
the best place to practice being present is on the yoga mat.
My cousin just recently, hey Nicole, if you're listening, received her, she's talking about doing yoga and Reiki together in a class. Yeah, that would be really interesting because she just received her yoga teacher certificate.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, so I've been trying to coax her, but again, she suffers from that fear-based, what do I have to offer when I'm such a student myself?
And we've all sat there, and I mean, I even sit with that now. I'm like, really, what do I, what can I do that hasn't been done? What's so different? And then, we have to look at it like, you can do the same thing that someone else has done, and it is completely different, and you resonate with different people, and you attract different people, and we can all do the exact same thing in a different way, which is what we pretty much do. We all heal in our own way, but we get those people to the end result.
Yeah.
So we have to stop questioning what our gifts are and not thinking they're good enough and just sit with them, feel into them, and allow them to flourish. Yeah. And I need to practice that just as much as anyone else.
Oh, definitely a practice. Definitely a practice. And I think especially during times, even like this COVID thing that's been going on, where it's allowed a lot of people to spend more time with their own selves. And how do you spend that time with yourself? Do you spend it lovingly? Enough,
Hi, lovely. Ashley, I believe. And you can, again, just like everything else in life, with everything that's going on, you can play the victor or the victim. You can you're going to manifest what you focus on. So you can manifest a better life, a better world, or you can manifest a woe is me and a shit show.
Yeah.
So It
Wow.
goes either way.
And I think even reading, like when Callista had her car accident, and there were so many people that were so in awe of your strength and exactly
Thank
right.
you.
And so, and I was actually totally, really very humbled by the comments as I shared my journey when my daughter passed away last year. And again, like you said, you can choose to be the victim or the victor,
Yeah.
and how you choose to uplift and live through these lessons
Mm-hmm.
lovingly by far,
Yeah.
uh, in the most difficult of times.
And I don't know where the strength came from, because until we were out of that and looking back, because it'll be a year anniversary on August 26th
Yeah.
for her car accident.
Yep.
I didn't realize I was strong. I didn't realize that I had strength during all of that.
Yeah.
I remember it felt like forever to me. And reading back, I was reading my comments. I visit them every now and then to read them. And I'm
Yep.
like, this was only a few hours. Like, I posted this one and then this one, and this is the next day. And I'm thinking in my mind, that was months.
Yeah.
Like, because going, in 2 days, she went through 4 surgeries.
Yep.
But in my mind, when I was there, this took place over many months.
Yeah.
So it was, and then more so than my strength, the amount of people that came together, the amount of messages I received, and
Yeah.
prayer vigils, and just the praying and the manifesting, and from
Yeah.
all around the world, people messaging me that heard of the Weekly Wand, because I believe I posted it on the Weekly Wand as well, all of my updates.
Yeah.
And people were reaching out and saying, I don't know you, I don't know her, but I'm sending love. I'm lighting a candle.
Yep.
We're holding a service. And it's like, holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. And just holding space for that much loving energy is so incredibly heartwarming. Yeah.
Yes.
It really, really is.
It is. And, I think it was just the other day I actually said to Brian, I was like, because reading what I wrote, it was like, holy, I had composure.
Yeah.
And we didn't know I knew she was going to survive.
Yeah.
But I said to him, I was like, how did I do that? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. You were strong. And I would not let anyone in that room that was crying, that was negative, that was worried about her. I would greet them at the door and say, these are the rules. You enter into this room. You laugh. You tell stories about what we did, what we're doing. You talk about what she's done in the past. This is what we do. And if you feel teary-eyed or sad at any given moment, you take yourself out of this room. I don't want her feeling any of that energy.
Well, and that's exactly what we did. The same. Nothing but love. Nothing but love and light.
Yeah, and I was fortunate. I'm saying she was fortunate. My family was fortunate. I owe everything to everyone that prayed and sent their healing energies and sent their love and light and good wishes and prayers, and we did it all together.
Yeah. So it just goes to show what is possible, when we gather as a community, and just like this Weekly Wand community, you've done an amazing job of creating a space for other people to share.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And opened eyes to a lot of people who still read about things like this underneath the blankets or in the closet,
Yeah, and on that note, I say it all the time, I invite anyone out there to submit articles to put in the Weekly Wand, recipes, trips they've gone on, hauntings, anything at all. We can publish your name, or we can put anonymous if you don't want anyone to know that it came from you. But please, 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 please send us your stuff. We love it. Yeah, and you can send it to theweeklywand@gmail.com. Please, I invite everyone to do that.
It's funny, the house that we bought on our little acreage north of Stony Plain out there, um, after we'd signed the paperwork, I walked in and I went, "Hello, house." And without a word of a lie, the house answered, "Welcome home."
Oh, that's
Loud
perfect.
and clear. And I was like, "What?" But yeah, no, trust the universe.
Yes.
Trust the universe.
Always trust the universe.
Yeah. And so it's definitely creating a safe space to learn and grow.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And on
Thank
that
you for
note,
having me.
you're welcome. I'm just going to borrow this copy that I gave you to share any upcoming events we have. There's the Alberta Avenue Community League Outdoor Market at 9210 118th Ave Northwest here in the city. I'll be there Thursday night from 4 to 8. Stop by for some jewelry from Wandwear Creations or get a reading from me. Yours truly. And they are every Thursday until October 8th, minus one Thursday in September. I can't remember which one, but one of them. And then the weekly WAN program schedule. Wake up with the WAN Monday mornings at 7:15. Lynn and I alternate Mondays. Tea with the Universe Tuesday evenings. And next week, I believe we have Sandra Fensky on. I'll have to confirm that with her, but as of right now, she's my guest. And then we have Quiet Thoughts Thursday evenings with Lynn. Live Energy readings with me on the first Thursday of each month, and with Lynn on the third Thursday of each month at 11 a.m. And then we also have Robin from Glow Kids and author of Yoga Adventure Through Space. I've teamed up with her. I'm publishing her upcoming book, and Lynn is illustrating it. We have a why can't I think of what it's called? If you go online, I'll put it in the comments. But we have a kind of a fundraiser going on. We have to raise close to $11,000. We're almost halfway there. So please, Kickstarter campaign. That's what it is. It's a Kickstarter campaign. So go check that out. And any donation is welcome. And if you can't donate, then please just spread the word. Share it. Share. Any kind of support is greatly appreciated. And that's all I have. Lori, do you have anything to say on our way out?
Awesome tea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for having me. And this was a lot of fun. So I hope you keep checking in with all of the events coming up. And thank you very much for all your positive thoughts and wishes. And have a great life.
Thank you. You as well. And if you want to be a guest on Tea with Universe, please reach out. If I haven't reached out to you, please reach out to me. And you can reach me at teawiththeuniverse@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone. Namaste. Take care. Enjoy your week and see you next time.